It is Saturday, March 12th today. So we're heading towards the middle of March. We've had some strange weather. We actually tapped into the 30s again this week. Seems to be more usual for us because we've gotten some cold weather late the last couple of years, which has delayed planting. You can see the peach tree behind us here. It's full of peaches. I mean, there are peaches everywhere on these trees. This one is one of the first trees to set fruit. It's the Florida Prince peach. We've got 4 of them and all of them loaded with fruit. But been busy this week with the nuggets.
Yeah.
Right? They're starting to get big, which is what they do.
Yeah, pounding the food and water. And
yep, doing really good in the outbuilding. We've only lost, what, is it 3?
4.
4, so we lost 4, which is very common in that first week. And I think we lost the last 1 or 2, like the last day of the first week.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow and on into next week, it gets very beautiful, perfect temperatures for growing, which means we got to get to planting.
Yes. We always seem to be late.
Always late.
Plant it and it doesn't happen and then it's past time.
Yeah, especially with the veggies, all the annual stuff. So we've got a lot of that to do. So what we're going to do is get right to it. One of the things we got to today was finishing up the rest of the end caps. So we had to get all the soil into the bed and the irrigation box set. Came back through and now we're planting. This is a lavender. I think it's French lavender, if I'm not mistaken. What you're seeing me water these in with, that is a mixture of vitamin B1, about 3 tablespoons, and about 2 tablespoons of fish emulsion, mixed into about 2 gallons of water in a basic little watering can. We put that down in the bottom of the hole, so we saturate this newly planted soil with fertility before we plant the starts into it. Then we come behind it and we run irrigation. We had already laid the irrigation when we did the garden beds, so it was ready for these end caps. We run the drip irrigation to the plant itself, and then we're utilizing a 4 gallon per hour emitter. Now that won't supply all of its needs in the middle of summer, assuming this does well for us, but it makes sure that it's getting water regularly whenever our garden beds are watering. We're trying to get herbs going in the end of these beds, and we prefer to have perennials at least as best we can. These 2 would be French thyme and some chamomile. So we have these 2 in this bed. Very simple, again, same planting because we're dealing with starts on the other end. And we're hopeful that with an open bed like this, these particular plants won't get too much pressure from rabbits. These are asparagus. Now, these are starts that I believe we purchased from Tractor Supply, if I'm not mistaken, but they're purple asparagus. They come as basically, I'm gonna call it bare root, and you basically dig a trench about 6 inches deep or so, and then you spread out the roots. So the crown is basically about 3 inches or so below the final soil level, and then you cover that in with dirt. Once you do that, we watered it in nice and heavy, and we still have these trenches that are now completely full of water after coming back through here and watering these in. So what you see planted here behind this cage would be a green globe artichoke. You can see we covered it with a layer of wood chips so we keep the soil moisture very consistent. And you can see this cage we have built around it. Now what this is 2-foot hardware cloth that we were able to basically get on the inside of the bricks here, and this will keep us from having any rabbit pressure, hopefully, on this new start. This back here would be dill, and this would be oregano. So we have these 2 here. Pretty confident that we're not gonna have an issue with rabbits here, hence no cage. The last one we planted last week is rosemary, and actually it's the first one we planted. This particular herb does fantastic for us here in Arizona. In fact, we keep an eye out for this, especially when we're driving through neighborhoods. Very common to see folks have these planted as a shrub in their front yard. Full sun, does fantastic, nothing messes with it, and it already has new growth. We have a good 1 to 2 inches of new growth that's already sprouted from this plant just in 1 week's time being planted here in the ground. This end cap here is actually something that was a little unplanned, and the reason being is, Martin, thank you. I cannot thank you enough for what you gifted us. This would actually be tree kale. I would really like to actually plant these on camera today, but we just got these in the mail yesterday. I wanna make sure these are hardened off to our temps before we stick them in the ground, and there's really nothing we can do about it. I'm looking forward to this tree kale, so Martin, thank you so much. We now know what we're putting into this bed. If you guys recall, several weeks ago, we had a consultation. We were doing a pruning consultation with Maria in Phoenix. And Maria, just thank you again for the sugarcane that you gave us. We did go ahead and turn it all into starts, and we've had some varying success. If you guys remember in that video, we had taken cuttings from the one cane that we had. We tested 3 different potted cuttings, and we also tested one outside in just a mason jar. So here we are today, several weeks later, and you can see we have some growth that started in these pots. Now, these were potted and placed in our outbuilding. Temperatures in there ranging through the winter of probably 50 degrees, maybe a little bit lower, up to maybe 70 degrees. Now, we kept one other thing inside the house, which averages high 60s or so as far as temperature, and it's doing a little better. This is the tip of the sugarcane, and you can see how much wonderful rooting we have that's gone from the base of this. We've got another cane that's coming here from one of the nodes that was below the water. We have a cane coming out here, also below the node, and you can see the growth we're getting out of the top of this guy here as well. What this is showing us is that these definitely need some warmer weather in order for these to pop. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep these 2 in a pot, but we're gonna go ahead and get these planted because we noticed that we've got a little bit of mold that's starting to form on this one here that was inside the house. And given the temperatures today of about 70, 72 degrees, and all week being in the mid 70s or 80, I get the feeling these sugarcane are gonna feel right at home, almost like it was Hawaii. Okay, actually not like it was Hawaii, it's the middle of the desert, but you know what I mean.
More in the hole? Or?
No, I think we're okay. It's partly in a little water. But we're hopeful that they're gonna get some afternoon shade in the summer, and obviously nice full sun up until about maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, we've never grown sugarcane before. We didn't even know whether or not we were gonna get these starts to actually take, but we're pretty hopeful. I think one of the things that we wanted to do here is obviously our soil is nothing like what you would find in the tropics. So we definitely did amend it quite a bit, and I dug the hole much bigger than I typically would and deeper. So they'll have a chance for those roots to kind of spread out and hopefully get these sugarcane to really grow nice and strong for us back here in the corner of where we grow all of our chicken fodder. We're surrounded by the ever-bearing mulberry here, and it's amazing the production that these 2-year-old trees are putting on. They are completely covered in mulberries. And then we have the peaches that look great. And those, what's nice is we have successive ripening.
Yep.
Right? These are the Fukushu kumquats. Have you had one of these?
Yeah.
Ooh, so I think it's time to have one now.
Mine's not juicy.
No? Mine is.
Is it?
Yeah. Give her that seed. Yeah, you want to trade? There you go.
Okay.
You just need to get into it. So we got us something special planted. You want to tell everybody what we planted today?
Normally we try to only plant stuff that is like edible, or we use for whatever, fodder or cover crops or
Something productive.
yeah. My favorite flower is stargazer lilies, and I was at Summer Winds getting some starts there, and I saw them and couldn't resist, and so I bought them.
Yeah. So kind of cool how you plant those, right? So we got the pots that we had lying around anyway over in our junk pile.
Yeah, in our junk pile, and we almost got rid of those so many times, and we're like, no, we better just hold on to them. Good thing we did.
Super simple to plant. We're going to keep them on the patio. So those are going to only get morning sun, and then they'll get afternoon shade. And then of course we can kind of move them around as we need to. But we have 2 stargazer lilies. So I guess you can say maybe it still does produce something. It produces beauty.
It does, yeah.
So if this is your first time joining us, this is our weekly vlog. This is where we give everybody an update on what we're doing here on this newly establishing farm, but we'd love to have you as a subscriber. And share the content. If you know anybody that's into this kind of thing, it helps us when you share it. Questions or comments, those go in the comment section down below. And our Amazon shop, I'll leave a link down in the description. That is a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start with the link down below, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere,
So can you.
I'm gonna call her an attention hog. She's quite literally an attention hog.
Oh my goodness, yeah. She's like not eating because she wants to be pet.
Yeah. Oh shit, I got in the same one. I almost dropped a 4-letter bomb. Woo! That's what I get for you saying you got stuck in the butt with something. Poked. You got poked in the butt. I'm not gonna say it.
Nope.
There's so many things I could say. There's bacon in here? It's a bacon turkey sandwich.
Bacon chicken sandwich.
Or bacon chicken. I'm looking at turkeys. Oops. Just kidding, guys.
Yeah, we had a little bit of bacon left from this week, so I chopped it up and...
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. High five that one. Oh. You guys wanted in on it? Get your hat on. We don't want to get chewed out for not wearing hats.